Karrion Kross's reign as NXT champion has been ice cold on Tuesday nights, and his challengers are partly to blame.
Pro Wrestling Bits. Subscribe now.
Ever since crowning the once-upon-a-time hottest star in NXT as champion, NXT has surprisingly gone away from everything that made Karrion Kross special in the first place. Karrion rode the rocket to superstardom by not saying a single word, but all of a sudden he's talking every week. He used to dress like a gladiator every time we saw him. Now he wears casino dealer vests. Remember when Karrion's matches were short and emphasized how dominant and violent he was in the ring, like that awesome slaughter of Tommaso Ciampa? Now he has to learn how to work, brother, and wrestle all these internet wrestling matches that he was never equipped to handle. And as a result, NXT has produced internet wrestling numbers that have settled into the 670,000 range unopposed. And this is a promotion that did just under 900,000 for its unopposed debut back on October 2nd, 2019. Now don't get me wrong, the Fatal 5-Way match from NXT TakeOver In Your House was a lot of fun, and Karrion was solid throughout, but much like his booking since winning the championship, Kross came off like a square peg in a round hole. I really don't want to see matches where the big monster lays out for long stretches while NXT pays homage to PWG. In fact, I'm starting to get a little tired of all these indyriffic reminders of the independent wrestling scene we see on NXT every week. It's boring, and it's starting to turn into wrestling for the sake of wrestling, replacing personality and charisma with inziguris and transitions. Cameron Grimes is the top babyface in this company, and it's not even close. You want to know why? Because even though he's talented enough to do the work rate thing that'll pop a few guys here and there, he's successfully developed a character in a cartoonish pro wrestling storyline that brings joy to my heart and yours. Because pro wrestling is great and all, but none of it means shit without sports entertainment, period. Like, did we really need 4 interchangeable work rate guys in one match? You know who gets excited about that? Internet wrestling nerds like me and you, whose preferences simply do not translate to what a casual viewer would stick around to watch, especially with the NBA playoffs on the other channel. Hell, I'm an NBA guy, and full disclosure, whenever they roll out one of these internet wrestling faces like Oni Theory or Austin Lorcan or Bobby O'Reilly, I don't know, they're all starting to run together. Point is, whenever it's work rate time in NXT with no juicy storyline I can sink my teeth in, I'm watching my Milwaukee Bucks take it to the Brooklyn Nets. Bucks in 7, we got this, fear the deer. Don't get me wrong, I like Pete Dunne, and Kyle O'Reilly is fine, and Gargano is great, and so is Cole, but in the grand scheme of things, they all serve the same audience, and if it was up to me, they would all be gone by now. Far away from Karrion Kross's NXT. With Karrion Kross as a world champion, it wouldn't hurt to establish a different kind of title reign. We already had the internet wrestling era where Finn Balor and Adam Cole were world champion for a combined 492 of the 622 days NXT has been on the air. Over 200,000 people have tuned out since then, and an already niche audience has somehow managed to get smaller unopposed. Throw in WWE's lackluster ticket sales, and if that's not a wholesale rejection of the overall product, I don't know what is. It's no secret that there's endless bias and cheerleading that goes on for indie wrestling alums who seem to be above criticism in most circles. Not this circle, not the winner's circle, because as much as the wrestling media handles internet wrestling types with kid gloves, the bottom line is the more WWE leans into this internet wrestling zeitgeist, one that has captivated an aging audience of 55-year-olds, the smaller that audience will get. Yes, the creative isn't where it needs to be, but at the end of the day, NXT is a telltale example of WWE overdoing it by turning its developmental promotion into a super indie. Now that NXT has a new champion, it needs new challengers, a new roster, a new style of matches, new everything. If they ever feel that nostalgic, go get Braun Strowman to come in on a short-term deal and go to war with Karrion Kross. What's more exciting to you, Braun Strowman versus Karrion Kross, or Adam, Oni, Lorcan, Dunn, Gargano, Cole versus Karrion Kross? Exactly. If Samoa Joe can ever get cleared, he'd be a good candidate for a series of physical, short, the operative word being short, matches against the more dominant Karrion Kross. You mean to tell me with all these wrestlers they have backed up in the Performance Center with nothing to do, none of them are 6'5"? Give me monsters and excitement in the form of a demolition derby whenever Karrion Kross steps into the ring. Otherwise, he's really just a poor man's Dominik Dijakovic. Everybody keeps fantasy booking Karrion Kross for the main roster based on how OP he's become in NXT. And even though there's still some level of anticipation for Kross's inevitable main roster debut, NXT is going about this all wrong. If he keeps feuding and beating all these interchangeable internet wrestling prototypes, not only will the matches continue to be awkward, but these hardcore fans will turn on him. With every win over a diminutive Adam Cole or Little Johnny or Little Pete, it'll be that much easier for some of these fanatics to work themselves into a shoot and convince themselves that Karrion Kross is a product of the establishment who's being, say it with me, shoved down our throats. Is that what WWE wants? Are we trying to recreate a peak Goldberg in '98? Or are they going to turn poor Karrion Kross into 2014 Batista? NXT needs to play to this man's strengths immediately. More monsters, more mystique, shorter matches, less wrestling. Otherwise, take that title off him before he gets exposed, send him up to the main roster while he's still relevant, and keep NXT as the IWC vanity project that'll continue to bleed viewers. Not my company.